What's up, you guys, and welcome to Sith Happens, a Star Wars podcast. I am Eric the Dadalorian, and thank you guys for joining us today. I am joined by two of my good friends here. These guys both were working in a trash compactor on Bespin, and they found a lightsaber, and somehow it just ended up in some random scavenger's hands. It's my boy, Matty Ice and Ant. How you guys doing?
Hello, sir. And hello there. I am not a committee, my friend Ant down there. I am Black Series Daily Desk, otherwise known as Matty Ice. And as we begin, I want to let you guys both know you are the reactors to my core. And that is just the heartfelt welcome I want to give.
Hey, I'm gonna begin with I don't have anything clever, but doing great, guys. Thanks again as always for having me. And I am Anthony Ant, or I am a committee on Instagram.
Nice. Well, don't worry, brother. My clever meter is running pretty short as it is. This is the first episode back from a couple of week break. To all of our listeners and our viewers out there, we apologize for the long unforeseen break. Matt had some stuff going on traveling, and I myself have basically been on my deathbed for the last 2 weeks with some whatever the hell my kids gave me. I don't know what it was, but honestly, it was starting to feel like Project Blackwing starting to creep up my ass or something like that, bro.
No, you were just, you admit it, man. You were going through withdrawal from death sticks and you relapsed right in the middle and you had to go through withdrawal over again. It's cool.
Dude, listen, I don't know what it was, man, but like I just got my voice back within the last few days. So thankfully we're here to shoot the podcast, right? So
let's do it.
Yes, and it's a good one, man. So this, we had talked about shooting this episode a couple of weeks back because we had some awesome rumors drop. So we got a couple of them we're going to cover and just kind of hit on these quick, give our thoughts on it, man. So now the very first one that we want to dive right into, and I'm really excited for this because it's probably my favorite thing in all of the Star Wars universe, is the Mandalorian movie. So we just had a ton of stuff come out here. So I don't have my glasses on, so I'm gonna be squinting like crazy. So please don't judge me too much for that. So we had the rumors coming out for Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and what we kind of see coming out of this is we are going to be seeing some serious Jedi powers to be seen by Grogu and Luke in this. The Mando villain is supposed to be a really big villain. They haven't released exactly who it was yet because it isn't completely confirmed. And then also, this will be the end of Din and Grogu's story, but they may still appear in more projects later on, like essentially the end of their arc and whatnot. So all of that was pretty big news, and all that came from Star Wars News on Instagram. You can check them out. # StarWars.news_. Pretty good site to get some actually really good Star Wars rumors and news, honestly. So, but let's dive into it, guys. So, I can't. This is probably the Star Wars project coming out that I am the most excited for, especially after we got that the quick teaser. I think it was it from San Diego Comic-Con?
No, D23. That was the thing that I sent you guys at like 3:30 in the morning. Yeah.
I think it was like right like after midnight. At midnight they showed the Skeleton Crew trailer, and then it was the Mando like leaked at like 3 in the morning. So
but you're welcome for those texts.
Yeah,
2 people with children. I think it's cool. I'm pumped. Here's the thing. It's not Abeloth, because I feel like, one, we'll get into why I don't think that when we get into my section, some of the rumors that I wanted to cover. But I think that would be something that has to come from what's going on Peridia, right? Yeah. And you're not going to have the Ahsoka show prior to this movie coming out. So like it wouldn't make sense. I think the news where it got leaked, the newsbreaker, their blogger, whatever they are, I want to call themselves, content creator, I think they're pretty reputable as far as their rumors. So I think this definitely is interesting. I stand by the fact that I think what we saw in that teaser was the beginning of the movie. Like it was, kind of like opening stuff from the start, like the grand opening. Because there's just like a lot of it felt like that could be like a setup to adventure.
Yeah. I definitely think if that opening scene is the whole thing with Mando and Grogu on the ATRT going at the AT-ATs, like that shit would be that, like that's a hell of an opening right there, and that's awesome. like dope ass opening right there. So
for sure. But I think that's why it's almost like it's such an open space of what could be in the movie. Like we really don't know. So like, go on ahead because you're going to say.
Well, is there anything? Is there anything more to say on the villain or?
they
No,
really have
that's
not released anything. Like everything right now is speculation. And like, so they keep all that's been like kind of leaked on it is like it's a big one. And like, I mean, we can each give our thoughts on who it's going to be. I'm kind of like bouncing around on this. Like, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you, but I think it's going to be the start of the crossover where maybe we see Thrawn come into it as a
So
yeah.
potential.
here's
I
something
think
I
that's a
said
high
I think
on
probability.
that's
on
more
this
likely.
show at another time is that at this time Ahsoka is in the other galaxy, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
guess what? Uh, her and Grogu could potentially communicate, and then
Yeah.
Okay.
if they did that and figure out a way to talk and get them back, then that could basically lead into Ahsoka season 2.
It
Yeah, I can see
could.
that. And that
Like
and the big
maybe the
villain.
end of the movie they pull them home somehow because
Yeah.
Grogu's because we already saw that potentially with when they were traveling through space with
Yeah.
Yeah.
whales.
We'll go back to Tython. You know what I mean? Like sit on the sitting stone where like it called out to
Yeah.
Luke. Maybe
Yeah,
they use that to communicate with Ahsoka. I could see that being real, like a move, or maybe it's like
yep.
Ahsoka finds a way to talk to them through the world between worlds.
Yeah.
Because like in the end, like I think it feels like, and with some of the Ahsoka rumors, what we'll cover, it feels to me like Abeloth is just a natural, progression here, and it helps to close up for Filoni an arc that he started in the Clone
Yeah.
Wars. It brings Morai back into it, the whole thing. But I believe to me the Mando movie is really just going to be a setup for
Yeah.
whatever that big crossover is. And like I almost feel like the comment when they say that this is the end of their arc, I think probably more so their arc of like a focus, like you're saying, story, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
this may get them to the point where now you don't really, and they've been headed that way anyway, right? Like I mean, I think I really loved season 3, but that
Oh
felt like the
yeah.
end. Yeah, and season
Here's the
And
thing is
2.5.
that they could go they could go on
Yeah,
and on and make great fucking episodes with great
yeah,
Yeah.
content that we would all probably love, but at what point does it go from being like an awesome show to Law and Order, and you're on
no,
Yeah.
100%.
season
Yeah, that's
52
exactly
of
it.
the
and
Yeah,
same
and that's
episode with a slightly different character or whatever.
yeah.
yeah,
And
and
I
that's
mean, if you
exactly what
remember,
I was gonna say. That's exactly what I thought about it too, because like I think that's exactly what they're gonna do with it, because I think we would all love to see it keep going, but you know, it's one of those things now, because Mando came out in 19, right?
yeah,
Okay, so yeah, so I mean, we're going on
uh,
getting close to like
Yeah, it
almost
was.
like 8 years now of
Right.
like Mando kind of being the prevalent Star Wars thing.
yeah,
It's going to be sad to see it close out, but at the same time, I think it's the natural progression to get into the newer stuff. And I'm going to be sad to see it close out, but I do think it's going to be a great way that they do close it out with this really big movie, because the budget's going to be way bigger. So this is going to be
yeah.
like everything we've seen in the Mando show is already amazing. So what we see in this movie is just
Mhm.
going to take it up to another level, honestly.
Yeah, and I think like that's it for me. I'm like torn because on the one hand, I'm like, yes, this sounds so awesome, but on the other hand, I'm like, I want to if it's all true, if it's a rumor, I want to understand the context of how it fits into this larger crossover, right? Because if they're going to
Yeah,
make this big finale for the two characters, there's this super big deal villain. It takes Luke and Grogu to defeat them. The implication that closes out their story, to me, that's what I thought kind of the crossover was to close
yeah,
out everybody's story is what they're positioning it as, and get you to the point where now it's like, okay, we filled you in enough on this era post Return of the Jedi, early,
yeah,
New Republic. So I'd be excited. I'm sure. Like I've loved everything. I love everything Filoni does. Favreau. This is like fantastic. It's going to be
yeah,
great. But there's a little part of me that's like, I think because of what I'm saying to you guys, I don't know that the rumor is real, because
yeah,
it feels to me like if you're going to do this crescendo with Luke and Grogu, then that would have to take them out of the crossover, or you end up running into that Avengers Endgame thing where like you blew your load, you lost two of your leads essentially
yeah,
after that
Yeah.
movie, so the next phases don't really work. So if you just take that as if like Endgame happened 3 movies before it was supposed to, like
yeah,
Evans and Downey Jr. were already out 2 movies before they're supposed to, or 1 movie. What does that look like for the enthusiasm for what's to come after? But
yeah,
that said, I don't know. So like I have to see what it is. But that's like kind of my worry there. Is there's something a little off about what this rumor is in relation to? If they said it was the crossover movie, I think I'd buy it a little bit more. But we'll
Yeah.
see. I can't wait to see and speculate on, like kind of like who that could be. I like the idea that kind of Ant had that maybe it's Thrawn, and that sets you up for that big crossover, right? Like it's kind of like the whole thing is like he's bringing or Balin's like it kind of connects to Peridia through that, and
Say
that
Yeah.
like the beginning, they've got like this battle, like you guys were saying, and then they're dealing with shit, and you kind of think there's you see where it's going, and then all of a sudden, boom, Thrawn just blasts into the universe. Just
yeah,
Yeah.
like out of nowhere, there's his grand entrance, and maybe it's like not quite like towards the end, maybe it's halfway through or something,
yeah, that'd be
or
cool.
even
Well, so
soon.
if it sticks in line with like, because I think every single Star Wars movie has done this. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they essentially have one big battle at the beginning, which is like a good, like intro setup type of thing, and at the very end they have a second like huge battle
Roughly,
where
yeah,
it's essentially like the no shit, this is the end of the movie type battle. So
yeah,
Mhm.
I think every single Star Wars movie has kind of gone in line with
yeah.
that or something similar. So
Yeah, not a
True.
Star Wars story for sure. It's like it's your big setup, set the stakes type of battle, and then
yeah,
you're kind of like pay it off. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I think like I would be pumped, and I just
yeah,
think that like, and I'm not writing it right. We're going off like 2 paragraphs. It's like to me, I'm like
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some kind of a big bad in it. I almost would prefer because like Gideon seemed a little off when he died, that character, and they were all the clones. If Gideon was still around and that was one of his clones, and Gideon goes like one more bout with Mando, I'd
Yeah.
be okay with that. Like, I
Oh
think
yeah.
that could be cool
I
because
love Gideon.
I loved those last couple episodes of season 3. I mean, I think the
yeah.
aerial battle with all Mandalorians and Imperial armored trooper, amazing,
Oh yeah.
awesome. But
I
there was something
cannot
a
wait
little
to get that
funky.
Imperial Commando figure, by the way.
Oh, I got for my lovely wife and my dog got me one for my birthday this past week. So I got one of those. But the yeah, like I epic, but Gideon was like a little bit off. So I'm almost like, is that like it was almost like it felt like a red herring because they talk about Project Necromancer, and we know that that's probably cloning the Emperor. And you get to that final episode, and Gideon's like, "Oh, I wanted the Force for me and my clones. There'll be my clones flying in Dark Trooper armor, but they're me, and they have the Force." And like, it just felt a little like I don't know, like not payoffy enough. Like maybe like almost like a red herring to some form
Yeah,
of payoff that could become real. Maybe like the Emperor or Snoke coming into play at the end of Mando could be
I was
interesting. Like,
thinking that too, to be
yeah,
honest. I was thinking, what if it's Snoke? They introduce him,
so
in some
I
capacity.
so I don't think it will be Snoke because if it sticks in, and this is all depends on what they kind of go in line with. Because going off of the expanded universe and the Heir to the Empire series, essentially, the Emperor comes back during this, during the Heir to the Empire. Essentially, like it's kind of like or like within there. Um, the whole cloning and everything like that. But I do think within that series, one that could potentially get introduced, especially because it's going to be, I think it would be hard to compress all three of those books from the Heir to the Empire trilogy into a series. I think they could use this as a setup to introduce Joris Sabayoth too.
that's a great idea. And I was just thinking about that when you were like leading up to that. I'm like, I wonder if that's where
Yeah,
you're going. I
that
think
could be.
that would be awesome. It ties in the Luke character,
Yeah,
like you could play with that a little bit.
yeah,
Like, I think that's really interesting. I like that.
like what if they use this whole Mando movie as like the setup of where Thrawn and the Empire is getting set up on Mount Tantus, because we just seen it
Yeah.
in Bad Batch, so we're all
Yeah.
familiar with it. So what
True.
if they use that, the recent familiarity to essentially do that intro there into the Heir to the Empire, because they've
I'm into that.
everything that, yeah, like
I
everything
like
we've
it.
seen, it really does look like that's the way that Filoni and them are really trying to lean with this. So I do think that would be it'd
Yeah,
be
I mean, it
bringing, it's a
gives
new
them,
spin on it
yeah, because
because
there's
like the
so many directions they could go with it at that point.
Yeah.
yeah, there is, and it's just like because in
Unlimited
the,
power.
yeah, like in the Heir to the Empire books, like it's essentially opens, it's the original guys, Luke, Han, Leia, all them. So like this is just kind of like a new and interesting way to spin it in and everything
Yeah.
like that. So I definitely think it's a way that they could go.
For sure. Yeah. I'm with that. I think that's
Yeah.
actually
That'd
the
be cool.
most viable.
That being
Yeah.
said, I think anything we talked
Here
about
you
though
go.
sounds pretty good. No, I don't have
Yeah.
anything more right now. I'm
And
just
I
I
actually
thought
didn't
yeah,
even.
I'd be okay
I
with
thought you were
any.
gonna say, that being said, it's Django Fett. I know it in my heart. It's Django.
One bullet. Oh,
Guys,
but
it's
no,
actually
it's
called Mandalorian and Grogu: Sebulba's Revenge, and that
Oh
is,
god.
you can't get Anakin, but you can go after Luke, and Grogu and Mando got to stop him.
yeah,
I mean, I'd watch the shit out of that.
Okay.
yeah.
But
But
Ooh.
honestly, I think
Makes me hungry.
yeah, I think we beat that one pretty good as far as rumors, guys.
yeah,
But it
yeah,
does lead into what we also wanted to talk about with all the getting tied into Ahsoka season 2, right?
yeah.
And Matt, I know you're excited for this one, so tell me your thoughts on the rumors and tell us the rumors and what your thoughts are.
Yeah. So the two rumors I read that I thought were really interesting. One, there are like internal Hollywood casting calls going out, and one is for a character that is strikingly similar to like an Abeloth. Like it's like tall, thin, sort of like otherworldly look. Like, they were saying like female character, strong in the force. So I think that could lean to like an Abeloth type of thing. There's not
Mhm.
much there. That's not the rumor I want to fully kind of address, because I think, just like I was saying, it kind of tied into, I feel like that's where she would belong to start, and she would be the threat for the big crossover movie, which is why when
Yeah.
they said big threat that requires Luke and Grogu, I was like, what's a force threat? But the one that I wanted to talk about with you guys is the other rumor is that they are currently courting two actors to replace Balin. One
All right. Yep.
is Gerard Butler,
Shut
and
up.
the other is Liev Schreiber.
And both of
Okay.
those are really good in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they're really good choices. It's interesting. I think Liev Schreiber has more of the gravity
I
to
think
play
so
the
too.
role the way that Ray Stevenson did, but Gerard Butler has more of the look in like a weird way. Like I wish they were like one guy. It's really tough because I need to see the end of that character's arc, and I want it to be paid off in a way that's like not a cop out, So I know they need to recast the part, but like the deal is Filoni wrote that part for Ray Stevenson. So like,
Yeah.
and he absolutely is the MVP character of, as far as like people in that show, that moments I think stay with you the most, as far as like a new character, but beyond, just very interesting take on like what happened to a Jedi after Order 66. So it's like hard for me because I want Ray Stevenson to still play him, and that's not a
I know.
possibility. But I think I would have to say Liev Schreiber is the right choice. Otherwise,
I
because he's
actually
got the
agree.
gravity. I think Gerard Butler has the look, but couldn't. He's a good actor. I don't know if you take him that seriously, like in a role like
I
that.
don't think so. The thing is Gerard Butler is an amazing actor and he does really great
Yeah,
in a lot of these action roles. I think Liev Schreiber will deliver the lines and the dialogue in a much more
yeah,
sensible way, like Ray Stevenson would.
yeah.
No,
And
that's valid. No,
I think and
I think this is one of those occasions where we all agree.
yeah, like I would love to see Gerard Butler in Star Wars. I just don't think
This is the one.
that replacing
No.
Ray
What?
Stevenson is the way to go for it.
Law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Oh,
That movie is
I mean,
so
if you've
good.
ever
That's a
go watch
mind-blowing
London,
movie.
watch London Has Fallen. That's just badass as
Oh, that
hell.
is
But yeah,
yes,
oh
that is
dude,
yeah.
he's
good.
bad as
You know
shit in
what?
those
I'm
movies.
voting Gerard Butler for Dash Rendar. That's my vote. I'm
Okay.
throwing
Oh
that
my
in.
god, that
Yeah,
would
I'll
be
take
so
I'll take
amazing.
that
We're not
right now. That'd be
throwing you
so.
under the bus, Gerard. Okay, we love you.
Yeah,
We do.
yeah. We just
That
cast you in our
yeah,
Shadows of the Empire imaginary movie. I mean, in case you're
that
listening,
is
Jerry.
yes.
I'll
That
watch
is
that.
absolutely something I hope they bring to live action, especially with them making the Shadows of the Empire action figures now. I hoped and prayed to the Star Wars gods that we fucking get a live action Shadows of the Empire, but
Oh, I mean,
that's a different show.
I just want a Dash Rendar figure. Let's not even get that lofty. I know the
it's
rumors
coming.
and that.
It's coming.
Here's the thing. Yeah,
I
okay, we're not going to
cannot
get into this,
tell you
but
guys
that's
how
like
many
off a
hours
thing
I
that.
put onto that cartridge in the 1164. I played that game so frequently.
I think that's the one that really made me fall in love with Star Wars at a young age, like the
Yeah,
games at least. Like I played Shadows of the Empire till my eyes were bleeding, bro. Like my
yeah.
Yeah.
N64 was on fire because I played that game so much.
Oh, it's gonna be. I mean, I loved it, and that's one of the only games I've ever beaten. Like, I know we're probably getting the figure, Eric. I just want the announcement. I don't want somebody to find a bunk press release that could be mimicking the figures from the '90s.
Yeah, no,
But
I
anyway,
feel it. Um,
yeah, I think
but
leave though. That's the move. I think we're all kind of in alignment there. I just think it's a good call.
yeah,
Yeah.
and on it, so the first one you brought up though, like casting for um Abeloth. There is, I'll say this much, there is an actress who I really hope she gets it. I don't know if she will, just like it's I don't know where they're gonna go with it, particularly for the casting. But have either of you two seen the show The Expanse by chance?
Yeah, I love it. Love The
Okay,
Expanse.
so
Nah.
I hope they get the one who played the Earth president, Sharon Agdashloo.
Abershala. Oh yeah,
Yes,
she put Abershala. Yeah,
she
interesting.
because
I can see
her
that.
voice, I think, would be. She has like an interestingly weird, like raspy voice, and I think she would like have this presence and just bring. And think she would deliver the dialogue for
Yeah.
Abeloth in such a way that would be interesting. Like me and my friend always said that she would make like the perfect actress to play the actual character Death in the Marvel
Oh
universe.
yeah, she'd be great. Yeah, no, I think this could be really good. She has a very interesting voice. The only thing about that is like for me, it's like that's such a cool voice for a villain, but I'd want her to do it weirder, and I would also want her to if they do flashbacks to her with the father, the son, and the daughter, have a
Mhm.
different voice, like a normal voice. Like I'd want them to warp that
Yeah,
voice like a little bit more. But yeah, it's a good call. I thought you were gonna say drummer from The Expanse.
no,
I think her look could be cool for that. But yeah, either way, no, I mean it's a weird thing because like to me, should like the manifestation of like how they do like an Abeloth should feel very ethereal is not the right word because that's like angelic, but like kind of like celestial, like a little bit like the way
essentially,
those
yeah.
characters translate would be different than a
Here
cartoon.
you go, like Galadriel in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so like
But
that
creepy.
When
in
Yeah.
the
when
like
she does her
when
evil
she
thing.
does her dark
Yes.
shit in The Hobbit.
Yeah, but you'll have a dark queen. I think absolutely that's the kind of vibe you need to get off that.
Yeah.
It should kind of be the vibe they did all around, where it's like calm to crazy to calm with like a different voice,
Hmm.
and like really like kind of I
Yeah.
think that there's a good opportunity there.
Yeah, so that's an actress who I hope gets considered for the role. Obviously, none of us have a fucking clue where
Yeah,
they're going with this yet.
or
And
if
there's
that's a real rumor.
yeah, or it's just a real rumor. I do
Yeah,
think it's the way they're going, and I think that's the fandom itself. I think is really hoping for this, or at least the fandom that knows about this arc and everything like that. Because obviously, not everybody is as big on the Mortis arc as we are. Because I mean,
yeah,
we did a whole fucking episode on it.
yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, that's definitely a possibility and a very hopeful for the actress. I will say.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, do you guys
I'm
have
into
any
it.
thoughts? And do you guys have any other thoughts on it though?
No, I'm not myself.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Well,
just excited. Honestly, I'm
yeah,
like a lot of
Yeah,
this
no,
is stuff that's like obviously it's all rumors and speculation at this point. But
yeah,
I mean I've been trying to limit what I've looked at for Skeleton Crew, but to me the trailer looked great. I thought the
yeah,
trailer looked fun, and the figures recently got released, and
yep,
I'm or not released yet, but we
announced.
saw
yeah.
them
No, they're
announced.
coming soon, real soon. They
And
said like a month.
I mean, they're kids, but they're cool. They're cool figures with some good accessories, actually.
No
Man, I'm
lie,
pumped. I'm pumped for that. Brutus, the
Yes, dude.
pirate captain, because that
Yes.
figure you
they
can
got
use
good
in any
alien
photo.
races in this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
for
can use that
sure.
figure as just like a villainy guy in any Hive of Scum and Villainy in like any photo, like toy photo. Like I constantly
Hmm.
want background characters like that I don't have to make myself. So I'm pumped. That figure, that's the figure from that line I'm picking up immediately, and then I'm
Yeah,
gonna wait to see kind of like how the others sell. But that's like the one
Yeah,
that I'm
I'm
like
gonna
90
get
back.
I don't know the name yet, but the little elephant alien.
Oh, yeah, that's a
That
good
one
one. My friend was super into that one.
for
Yeah,
the
sure.
one that
Yeah.
I already know, the one I'm gonna grab as soon as I see it is Jude Law's character. I can't
Oh
remember
yeah,
his name
for
off the top of
sure.
my head.
it's like Jadna Nawad or something.
Yeah,
Tanawad.
it's something like
Nawad.
that.
Yeah,
But
That's what we
I
just
know like I know a lot of people were actually like, "Oh man, what if that's Kyle Katarn?" I'm like, "You're really stretching at this point."
yeah,
But
that's it. Like, why does that like 20 years after that's relevant?
yeah, no, exactly. But no,
Yeah.
like I love Jude Law as an actor. I am so excited to see him. And if I get this Black Series, it's definitely one of those ones where I'm like gonna really need to try to get to a con where he's at and get
Yeah.
that thing signed. But yeah, definitely pumped for that.
Speaking of rumors, do you guys remember the rumor? And I think we talked about this like 8 months ago. There was the original rumor that Jude Law's character was Corky from
Oh
Corky
yeah,
Kreese.
I think
I
I heard.
loved that. I loved that idea. I thought that
yeah.
would be like the best idea ever.
Hmm.
I
That
I
would
think it's
also
an
am
yeah,
not
that
interesting
would
one.
be
I
sold
don't
cool.
that
think I
he's a
heard that though.
Thought you were
Yeah, I'm
talking
also
about
not
Fleetwood
sold
Mac.
that he's oh quirky. Is it Fleetwood Mac just
Rumors.
Oh, rumors.
It's a good album.
All right, man. It's a very good album. I love that album.
Yeah.
Gypsy, man, fantastic song. Anyway,
Oh no,
anyway,
my wife just saw her recently, so I've been
I
hearing
saw
a
her.
lot. It's a good thing.
That's a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a very good thing.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
But
All right, and then I think we have
anyways,
one last rumor. I think Eric, you wanted to
yes,
talk about.
and this is one I'm super stoked for because anyone who's played the Star Wars games, this is like one of the best Star Wars games to come out within the last 10 to 15 years, in my opinion.
Yep.
The rumor Cal Kestis making his live action debut in something. They haven't released what, but the rumor is that he will be making his live action debut in the Disney Plus show. Now, I personally, I don't know what he will show up in. I am kind of thinking with how under wraps it's been and the fact that we haven't seen or heard anything just yet, in Ahsoka is a possibility.
In Ahsoka.
Maybe it's just so weird where
Who do
anything
you
would
think
fall.
they're gonna cast for him?
If they don't do Cameron Monaghan, I'm gonna fucking kill someone.
Yeah, oh, that would be insane. There was a thing somebody
I'm
asked.
kidding. Of course, they'll do
Somebody
that,
asked Will
right?
Poulter if he wanted to
I was
play.
gonna say
Yeah,
that.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Somebody in an interview asked Will Poulter if he wanted to be Cal
Is that the
Kestis.
golden boy from Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxy?
yeah. And Will Poulter was like, "I'm not opposed to it." And then it like went all over the internet. They're like, "Will Poulter's being offered the role," and it's like that is not what that interview said, and like that would be really weird. Like they basically were like, "Would you want to be a character in Star Wars?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh my god, he's tipped his hand." And it's like it just for no reason. But I'm gonna say something controversial right now to you guys.
Oh God.
I don't know why we need that to happen. Him to be
I don't know.
live action.
It's not something that we
I
need
feel
to
like
happen. I just
feel
like to
like
see it.
I think it could be cool if it tied his story together, but I'm like, there's a little part of me that's like, there's something special about those games. The way the last game kind of took him sort of out of the universe in some way, shape, or form a little bit. Like there's a way to kind of create his microcosm of his story, kind of like the way you have like a Mando verse. And I'm almost like, once you start bringing him over into other things, if it's like a quick cameo or like talking to Force Ghost or something, like I would have to see how they did it. And maybe I forget the name in the second game. It was like, the colony or whatever, the other planet that they went to, the other galaxy.
I have actually not played the second one yet. I'll admit
but I think there's a deal with that. And like, if that's on the way to Peridia or something, like, okay, you've sucked me in a little bit. Like if that's somewhere in that realm, like that would make sense to me for Ahsoka, but I just don't know based on what we know that. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if there's something.
Dude, that's so easy. That could be.
See, that works for me though. Yeah.
Very simple tie-in. That
and
there.
I think the thing is they're not planning to give him this like
them, and that could be another path.
I don't think they're planning to give him this giant role. I mean, it's going to be Cal Kestis, but I don't think they're going to be like, oh, here's Cal Kestis. Now he gets his own show. I think it's just like bring Cameron Monaghan in and do like, hopefully at least.
Well, there you go. There's an option for it. If as Ahsoka's flying around with Sabine, and then they bump into them somehow, unbeknowingly that they're landing on a planet that they're on, and they're like, okay, we'll send you home. And we see Cal for a little bit, and Cal says, "No, I'm gonna stay here with my people. I've been with them for a while."
I mean, it would be really cool if unleashing. We're gonna do a what if episode now out of nowhere. Because I love this idea. Like, what if that's a planet in that galaxy? Like, good call. And then in unleashing Abeloth, she starts kind of like her path to destruction to whatever that road or like portal that takes to the galaxy where Cal's planet is. So in them chasing to stop Abeloth, they end up on this planet, and maybe Cal stays, like you said, which I'm with. But in the
you guys are ruining the game for me, just so you know.
Well, the rule about spoilers in this show. But so I think like within that. Yeah, don't worry about it. You don't remember any of this. But anyway, so I'm saying I'm with you, and that becomes their way home.
Yeah,
is through that path.
Yep.
I think that's a really cool way to do that.
Here you go,
guys. I wasn't sold. Now I'm sold, and I've got a hope and a dream.
Now, as someone who has played both of them, I will say, I think Cal would want to be live action. To counterpoint your point, Matt, I'm sorry. I have to be the devil's advocate.
I don't know him like you do. Yeah.
No. Okay. Me and Cal are basically the same, because I am him when I play the
I,
game.
that's fair.
So
You've been in
Well,
his head.
so
He's
to tie these things together, and Ant, you can answer this. Matt, maybe you know it. Now, does Marin die in the second uh Jedi one?
No,
That's a yes, right?
no,
no,
she doesn't die.
I don't like saying things like this. That's a pretty big one, but no, she doesn't die.
Okay, she doesn't
Spoiler
die in the
alert: she
game.
doesn't die. Eric,
Okay,
just open
well,
with a spoiler alert.
okay, that's also all I
That's
want
a
to know
big
because
one.
I haven't played the second Jedi game yet. But no,
Yeah.
so that being said, she has the tie to the Night Sisters, Peridia.
Yeah,
What if this comes into it somehow?
yeah. I think
True.
it makes sense.
Yeah, so
Yeah, there's plenty to go up there. You guys,
yeah,
I was not on board, and now I am on board, which is thank you.
yeah.
Thank
So
you for making me a believer again.
yeah, but I think the rumors cool. I hope we get to
That's
see it.
dope.
I think it'll be fun. But we beat these rumors to death today, guys, and I think now we can kind of get to our favorite part and the show offy part of the show, right? Is Collector's Corner.
Yep.
All right, Anthony, as always, I want you to go first, my brother.
All right. Well, guys, I started with one figure in mind.
Oh,
I
Oh god.
switched very early on. You can see me switching, like at the very start of the show. I go like this.
yeah.
It's me switching, going for a different one. I had this one playing the whole time, but I have to say, after that whole chat, I'm going to go with my collector's corner item to be.
To be.
Whoop.
Oh, there you go.
Woo!
This Cal is fantastic in the sense that this is just like this is right out of the game, and
Yeah.
he's got his lightsaber, you know, from
Does it have the cross guard on it?
no, it does not. It
Okay.
does not. But the other cool thing, Matt, you'll well, you have the figure, but you'll
Yeah.
appreciate, showing off is the blaster here.
That pistol's so cool.
Yeah, it's
And I love
badass.
that
I got
that's
that one too, but it's been in that box and I have
Matt,
never opened it.
here's here's what I want you to do, Matt. I want you to go out and buy an Xbox. Buy the cheaper one because you're not going to play it that often, okay? Buy this game. Get to the point where you can just shoot the gun and just I mean,
you just power it up and shoot it. I've watched the cutscenes. I know the
but
Well,
you,
so
like,
I,
like
when you're holding the controller, Matt, there's a
yeah.
whole feeling.
Oh, it's like
for
an
it.
experience.
Just
Oh
do
man.
just do it. Just
well,
do it.
so I
I'm
was
not
just
gonna say
talking
you're
to
gonna
you
get
guys
hurt.
about it the
I'm
other
not
day.
gonna say
They
this is gonna
just
be a drug for you, but it might be.
I was talking
It
to you
will
guys
be.
about it. I think it was like a week or two ago. They just re-released that on the older Xbox and the older PlayStation, so it
Oh,
is easier
nice.
to get it now. So I still have to
Nice.
download because I got the PlayStation 4.
Oh, I don't have any
Nice.
PlayStations, so you're winning. You're beating
Yeah.
me there, brother. But
Fair enough.
Well,
that figure is fantastic, though.
great figure, and I remember I got this down in Wilmington, North Carolina, when I was living there, and I had the comic store. They held one for me.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And shout out to Memory Lane Comics in Wilmington, North Carolina. Anyone, if you are ever in Wilmington, North Carolina, Memory Lane has great selection of Black Series figures, and it's run by some awesome dudes. So, anyways, yeah, I got two others though. If we have time, I'm just kidding. I know we don't. Matt, it's on to you.
All
we got.
right.
Hey, listen, we gotta save it for the shows to come, man. We gotta shoot an episode next week.
Well,
I just
Matt,
want to
I'm giving
quickly.
you a window of opportunity here. So next week, if Eric, if you say Matt goes first next week, it could be either one of us who could potentially be showing this figure.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
you never know. The that's true. But I just want to say quickly that Cal Kestis figure has like a really cool space swashbuckler element to it, like the
It
way the
does.
pistol looks, and I think like a little thing I'm like worried about Skeleton Crew is their blasters look like muskets. Like I'm like I got to see how that world works. But I thought
Yeah.
he was such a perfect embodiment of like what space pirate should kind of look like, or corsair or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I just think it's really
Don't
cool.
forget, in Andor, freaking Vel Surtha had an AK-47 that shot blasters.
Yeah, I know what the
True.
thing though is. They did some. If you actually look at that thing, they did some decent work to just keep it the shape, but not exactly an AK-47. And it makes sense because they're insurgents. It's a very good. I'm not getting into it. I defend this to the death. Anyway, neither here nor there. My collector's corner item is so. Yesterday was my birthday, and my dear friend Aunt I am dot not.
Hey, dude. Oh, we're not done.
And I am dot not a committee. Knew there were a couple figures that I had wanted that I did not pre-order because I'm taking a break on pre-orders, and one of them was the Mandalorian Shriek Hawk Target exclusive figure. So I've got him
Oh
here.
yeah.
First of all, thank you, Aunt, for conspiring with my
You're
wife and
very
making that
welcome.
happen. You guys,
It was my pleasure. And one thing I will say, it was funny because when I put your address in on Target, it was like unidentifiable address, do not send. And I was like,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Full
Send.
send.
well, it'll get there. Well, it was funny because I was texting with Aunt. I was home visiting my family and I was going to Target and the present had been shipped.
God,
And I told him I was going to Target and Aunt was having like a panic attack that I was going to see the
I
figure there
was. I
since it's
was.
apparently on the easier side to get. But it is an awesome figure. And the one thing I really love about it, I just wanted to like show off a little on camera and describe for those of you at home, is it's the body they used for the privateer and the
Yeah.
captain fleet commander, but it's a great body. But some of the stuff they did, trying to show this on camera real quick. You can see like his van brace has this cool like double barrel gun thing on it, and the blaster
Mm.
pistol that the figure comes with. He comes with a rifle too, but that's one everybody's seen. That's why I'm doing this
So it's
here.
a repaint on
The
the rifle.
blaster pistol, yeah, the repaint on the rifle. It's like a brand new Mandalorian blaster
Brand new.
that looks kind of like a mix of the animated one and the live action one.
Oh, okay.
And it's like really cool, and it's like one of those things that like the figure itself is just super fun. The rubber like cape thing he has on is
Yeah.
sick. Like it's a great looking figure with great parts. It's like really fun to just play around with. But on top of that, just some of those little touches that even though it was ostensibly a repaint, make it feel a little new and exciting. It's a great figure. I really appreciate that and what they did there.
Nice, man. All
Well, I'm
right.
glad
Well,
you like
I'll.
it, man.
I
uh,
hate it. I'm just doing this to
No,
be
when
nice.
yeah.
when you texted me that you were
I'm
doing
just doing this to
it,
be
was just
polite,
like
you bitch.
I was like, so help me if he finds this in the wild today and buys it, I am going to. And then I thought about it more, and I'm like, you know what? You'll actually probably not even be mad, and you'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
cool, I've got multiple for my figure.
Yes.
Exactly. It's easier than duplicating them in app.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
All right.
speaking of finding it in the wild, because that's where I found mine, is this bad boy.
Oh
Dude.
yes.
So let me just. So I finally found this guy in the wild. Like this is something that I was getting to the point, man. I did not know if I was ever gonna see this thing in the wild because, um, he was just one of those ones where it was becoming impossible to find him, and I just randomly happened to go to a GameStop down where close to where I live here in Florida one day, and it was him and the Super Battle Droid on there, and I was like, all right. I'm only gonna buy one because I don't want my wife to kill me. Which one do I need the most? And it was like, yeah, definitely Kiadi. So no, so I'm super stoked because he is like available on like some of the other websites, eBay, Amazon, yada yada, but they're actually like still pretty highly priced. And I got him in GameStop. And for those of you who don't know, GameStop does I think it's a 15% military discount, which is
Oh,
awesome.
cool.
So I always put that in take advantage of that. So
That is
well,
awesome.
yes, definitely helps out with my stuff. That's for sure.
GameStop has been pulling through with the
They've been
new
better.
waves, and they do kind of stagger them a little bit. I find,
Yeah.
at least in my area, where like I'll see a few of the new ones hit, like one or two, and then like you know, it seems like a couple weeks or a month later, I'll see a couple others, but that were released in the same wave.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where the one figure I was gonna use tonight. I picked up at GameStop around the time I think you texted that you got that one.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I noticed some GameStops, like after talking with the owner too, he said like some of them focus more towards the game and tech side, whereas some are more towards the collectible side. You
Hmm.
just kind of got to figure out which one's which, realistically. So,
Yeah, that was.
um,
I was talking to one of the. I've got like probably six in my area, and I was talking to one
god
of the
damn,
guys. Yeah, they're all over the place. I mean, within like 20 miles, but 30 miles.
I think I got
I don't know.
three
But the
within
guy
like
was
a
like, "Yeah, if you
20,
want
30 mile radius.
figures, go to the one up on Alpine. That's the one that
Mhm.
they've got the figures." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Nice.
Nice. All
Yeah, so
right, guys.
speaking of GameStop, I
Shout
just
out to
checked the app
GameStop.
while we were talking. Yeah, I checked the app while we were talking because I thought of this.
Uh-huh.
Saturday should be the day that everybody gets their Darth Maul Obi-Wan Qui-Gon 3-pack. That was the May the 4th
Hmm.
exclusive.
Ooh,
So hopefully I'll have that to show everybody next week. If that release date stays true.
fair
That
enough.
is fantastic.
Hopefully,
Hey,
man.
Awesome.
hey, Matt, did you have Apprentice Obi-Wan already?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You don't need two, do you?
Yes, you do.
We can talk. Let's talk. Uh, we can talk. We can sidebar. Anyway, serious.
Next week,
I
guys.
understand.
Next
Yeah,
week.
next week. Yeah, and we'll have my Obi-Wan apprentice, and I will have the new 3-pack Obi-Wan
Yeah,
apprentice. Anyway,
exactly. I think it's.
but yeah,
I
all
think
right.
it's good. Christmas.
All right, guys. Well,
Um,
that right there does conclude the show this week, except for one small thing we need to do. Yeah, you've been a huge part of our show for months and months now, man. You're Matt, probably one of Matt and I's closest friends, brother. And I think it's about time that we officially name you a host of the show.
oh my.
This is something Matt
Yeah.
and I talked about several weeks ago, man.
Yeah.
And
And then
it's a
Eric
bit
gets sick.
yes,
Oh God.
and it's something we talked about, but no, brother. So we want to officially welcome you as an official host for the show and everything, man. You know, you have contributed so much to the podcast. We do tons together, man, and you're always on here with us. So it's about time you officially wore that hat, man.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah! I think this is one of the times I'm not wearing a hat.
Yeah.
But no, thank.
Well, don't hide
This
that
is
sweet hair, bro.
I hope
Yeah, you got the best.
when you guys send the badge in the mail that goes along with this title, I will wear it with pride everywhere I
As soon
go.
as you send your membership dues.
Yeah.
Is there a contract for this? Can you send over a contract?
Don't make me laugh.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
equivalent of a prenup
Yeah.
that I signed?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know if you Eric's coughing and now I'm coughing, so there's clearly not a very good health plan. Yeah.
I'm on
No,
that
that's awesome,
military
guys.
shit, all
Thank
right?
you.
Yeah, brother,
Yeah,
we're glad to
well,
have
I'm
you. And
happy.
you've been
I'm
on. You're
happy
on
to
almost
add.
every episode.
You know, I
Yeah,
will add
so
that to my resume. I will.
Nice.
there
You
you go.
should. You should.
But
Hopefully, I don't.
All
anyway,
right.
so
Wow.
welcome officially, brother. You're now the official host of the show. So let's wrap this son of a bitch up today.
All right.
So everybody listening and watching right now, we want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. You can go to our Instagram page at @SithHappens_Star Wars Podcast, which will have the links to all of our stuff for YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, you name it, we're there. And then please give us a follow and like for our most recent episodes. Now let's let our most recent host give us a quick goodbye.
Well,
Tell us what we mean to you.
I guess thank you again for this honor. I won't let you down. You say jump, I will say no. My knees are bad, but
I don't want to watch you jump.
But no, awesome. I'm really
Get a
excited about
jetpack.
this, guys, and yeah, it'll be like every other time. But now I have this title. I love titles. I'm a title guy.
Yeah, you're a power whore. I know.
With
I
great
know.
title comes
God.
great responsibility.
I don't
You
care
give
about the
the title,
money.
Eric.
Just give me the title. I do
Good
have
to know. You
give,
could be the CEO.
I'm the host DeLorean.
I do have to give one quick shout out real quickly to this little fella because Cal doesn't do much without him, and I forgot to mention old BB-8 or
BB-8. Jesus Christ.
What?
BB-1.
All right.
Dyslexia mark?
BB-8, he's up there. But this little dude in the game is so fun, and I love how they always have a little droid companion in the Outlaws game. I'll talk about that next time because I'm
Yeah.
having a lot of fun with that. But I'll pass with that.
Fair enough.
No.
Nice. Good shout out.
Anyways, thank you guys, and I am .committee on Instagram, and we will see y'all next time.
All right, Matty, your turn.
I am Black Series Daily Desk saying as I do, may the force be with you always.
And I am the Dadalorian. You can find me at @the_Dadalorian_ on Instagram. And this is the way.